Okay, so my right side, I think I also have a little work to do more on my right side than my left, but okay, so let's go to the toast. Okay, so there's two position set up right here. Okay, if this is your two, actually I'm gonna draw a line at the two position too. So this will have 4 lines.
So your two position's a lot more forward than mine. It's just where the pedal is to the knee.
Yeah, in terms of where.
Yeah.
Well, it'll also appear more forward or further away if your body is leaned forward and mine's not too.
No, but I'm looking at the distance between like the pedal and the knee.
Oh,
Because I know in the
okay,
boat
yeah.
we're not that far off in height.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're taller than I am, but I think my torso is longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this side, I think you are pulling significantly further back on your right side. So that might also have something to do with the higher score. I'd rather you not be getting a higher score because of this portion right here.
Okay.
Just because how it's going to transfer to the OC and OC and Dragon Boat. So, okay, getting back to those lines. So I think your two position. So you can see when you finish your stroke here, yeah, you kind of stay. You're not. I think we talked about that little lift, but it's still not quite where, like all the way up to neutral, right? So you can see as I'm going through this, it's almost as if it's like my body is still going back just a little bit through the recovery phase, going into neutral. Yeah, so I think it does help thinking about getting your arms more in front of you as you come out here, but part of why maybe your arms are lagging behind a little bit is because you've allowed it to travel so much further back. Okay, so let's go into the catch next. Yeah, so you definitely have a little bit of weight going on it, but you're still, the majority of it is relying on just arm strength and like mostly on upper back strength to really try to shove that paddle in. So same thing we talked about on your left side. I like that. I think if you go back to look at the lines on your other side, you'll probably see that maybe this position here is maybe a couple of degrees less. But it'll be hard. It will be hard to tell, but it's probably a couple degrees less, just because we know that we looked at the length to the bar, right?
Okay. So it's still the sitting up part.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to be at this paddle angle position, but your body you want probably up at this line. And then when you get into the catch, then it'll be something like this. So this last line of lean. So you can see that the lean is only really like going from here to here. And that's why I always caution people still, like, you're not talking about leaning so much where you start going down, right? So the amount of forward lean, if we were to really take an angle to this, right? The amount of forward lean total we're looking at is, right? It's only about 20 degrees of lean. And once you get maybe past 30 degrees, then, well, obviously past 45 degrees, then more of the lean forward is just collapsing down, right?
Then it takes more energy to sit back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, so if we were taking a look at, if we take a look at, let's look at this here, this angle.
Ooh.
So it's not like significantly more, but that 10 degrees extra, first of all, is going to take you out of your power zone a little bit more. Because you can see the most I lean is about 22 degrees, right? You're already hitting 30 degrees at your toast. So you can see, I mean, we can look at angle of the next. So that was the angle for my catch, right?
Right.
My toast
Was less.
was maybe around 15, so it's about like another 5 degrees each time. Yeah, and then I guess those numbers you can think like, oh yeah, I guess maybe it's not really a huge amount, but it's still like relative motion wise, you are leaning forward a bit, a good bit. You just don't want to be careful about getting too much. We'll do a quick angle on the other one, just so we can compare if it is more than this one.
I think it is.
Okay, so let's go to the front view because I think most of this pool portion is pretty solid.
It's too far back.
Yeah, just going a little too far back. So let's go to the front view. And I think my quick glance was that some of those similar things we saw was there in terms of how you initiate your relaxation in the back end. So you can see you should really be cutting off power here, but you keep going back there. And usually once I get to the hip, like you can see I'm starting to open up this. This one aspect of my right side I need to work on is making my elbow go out a little bit more, but you can see my wrist is starting to relax here. Starting to bend a little bit. And you kind of keep it pretty stiff on that side. I think same with your top hand. Your top hand here stays pretty much all on that side, whereas my top hand, yeah. So my left side I think is a little bit better about hitting that neutral position. And I think this is some bad habits coming from OC1 and constantly trying to keep my weight slightly to the left, because you can see when I'm paddling on my right side doesn't quite get as far in to neutral that I would like that my left hand. Yeah.
So we're not the only ones who are afraid of the pulley.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this is another viewpoint of that elbow. I think it is a good bit better. I think your other side, your elbow would flare up just a little bit more. And then you hold this angle through your top arm angle quite a bit more consistently through that portion. So the elbow doesn't drop down as low. Okay.
Not leaning as far out the other side. So.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. Your body angle is definitely much more very slight angle to the side compared to earlier. So that's, yeah. Good you picked up on that. I didn't. All right.